Whether you're buying or selling your home, the brokers of Me Realty will work with you to get the deal done. As one of Central Illinois' top producing offices for decades, Me Realty has the experience to guide you through the process. You want results? Call the brokers of Me Realty at 217-735-5424, stop by the office at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, or check out local listings online at merealty.com.
Culver's is a family restaurant. To me, that means being the place that puts a smile on everyone's face. We're famous for our cooked-to-order butter burgers and frozen custard made daily inside our restaurants. But we've always believed more menu options mean more ways to brighten your day. We source the finest chicken to bring you our tenders and chicken sandwiches. And our cheese curds. They're a Wisconsin tradition we're proud to share with you. So take the next meal shift off and let us take care of you. Welcome to Delicious.
Culver's, home of the Butterburger, 2530 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln. Full Gospel Evangelistic Center makes an impact locally and beyond through a wide range of events, ministries, and outreaches. Pastors Steve and Debbie Owens invite you to worship Sunday mornings at 10:30 and attend Wednesday night Bible studies at 6:30. Connect with FGEC online, follow them on Facebook, download their app, and visit their new website at myfgec.org with live YouTube video streams as well as recordings of services and special events. Full Gospel Evangelistic Center, 304 North McLean Street in Lincoln.
Brian Clark State Farm offers a range of insurance products to fit your unique needs and give you a peace of mind. Our dedicated team helps you find the perfect policy to safeguard your biggest investments. Brian Clark State Farm can steer you in the right direction on auto insurance, and we've got your home covered from natural disasters to unexpected accidents. Contact me, State Farm Agent Brian Clark, at 217-732-6211 or visit sfinsurelincoln.com. Go Railers!
The following is a presentation of WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com.
Good morning, sports fans. Welcome to the Cheap Seats on WLCN 96.3 FM, broadcasting live from Copper and Oak. And joining us right now is Coach Silkowski. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, guys.
Rough one for the Railers last night, but obviously we knew going in Chatham's a solid football program. They're a top of the conference in the division. You know, how do you prepare? I mean, obviously you play MacArthur last week, and you know, a big win, and it's one that we had to have.
Yeah.
And then you follow up with Glenwood, knowing what they had. Coach, how do you prepare your team for that?
You know, you're just trying to keep them, you know, in the right mindset, and that, you know, and anything could happen on any given Friday. You know, MacArthur played them really close a couple weeks ago, and that was a kind of a weird kind of game, though. And MacArthur's D-line played really, really well that night too. But yeah, it's difficult. You know, it's always a challenge, and just kind of keep their moods up and their spirits up. And you know, when you play somebody like that, you got to have them make a lot of really good plays, and you know, you need kind of them to not be at the top of their game. And but they had, you know, tough loss to U-High the week before.
Yeah,
lost by a couple of scores there, and really dominated that whole game. So we knew that we were gonna get their best effort, you know, their best shot, and you know, it's kind of what happened.
Yeah, unfortunately the score a little lopsided. How do you keep your kids focused during the game? You know, because obviously when you're losing by that many points, it's kind of hard to keep your focus.
You just deter back to your senior leadership, and you know, it's really strong, and you know, our kids did a good job. You know, there's no finger pointing, you know, attitude and stuff on the sideline, and it was really good all night. You know, even when it was getting out of hand, and you know, it just goes back to our senior leadership. Even on the sideline, you could hear some of those guys, you know, being positive, and you know, and that was really big and really key. And you know, after the game, just kind of we flushed it and said we're moving on, and you know, hey, everyone's still on board here. We're, you know, got 2 to go, and it was enthusiastic yes, and you know, it's over with, and you know, as soon as we get this film exchange accepted, it's on to Q&D. It's over.
You know, and I've said it 1,000 times. You know, nobody likes to lose, but sometimes you play a better team, and Chatham's a good football team.
Yeah, they're
solid.
Yeah, they're hands down better than us, and that's just the reality of the situation.
And there's 110 of them standing over there.
Yeah. There's like almost 1,600 in their student body, and bleachers. Felt like I was back at home with Flossmoor in an 8A game. There's tons of people there, and it was a really good environment. Obviously they're homecoming too, so that probably helped with the crowd size and stuff too. And it's a difficult challenge. It's like David versus Goliath type deal there, and it's over. It's really the best way to put it. Is kids played as hard as they could. Obviously didn't execute very well on either side of the ball. But it's kind of what's going to happen.
I thought the big thing last night was, you always say, we need to play on 6 inches of their side of the ball, and the penetration was just eating us up.
Yeah, we couldn't get any movement. It was very difficult, to run inside. A couple, we had a big pass play on 3rd and long on our opening drive. Tate threw a really good ball. Gabe made a really good play. So we converted a couple other 3rd downs there and converted a 4th down. So there's some, some positives there. Kids fought, and then when it kind of got to that point at the half, we just mass substituted our players, and, that's, we got 8 quarters left to go, and, we're going to, we got put our kids in the best position to win one more game here and get back to the postseason. So it's kind of, at that point, it was a decision.
And for those people that have been watching Chatham for years in Central State before we left, Hayes been on that staff for 30 years.
Yeah.
And that's it's something you're bringing here is the stability of the staff. Yeah. I mean, Hayes Rourke had all that same stuff going on 20 years ago, and Hayes just carried it over, and all the kids just know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
And it's a good program.
Yeah, and they have a large coaching staff, and former head coaches on their staff too from other places, and that's always going to help as well to get that experience and the extra preparation. Guys that have been in that chair and kind of know what it takes to be successful, and he's built a really good program over there, and wish him the best moving forward.
Yeah, and numbers have a lot to do with that as well.
Yeah,
Coach.
Football's a numbers game. Yeah. More than anybody any other sport, and it's just when across the way they have filling out numbers 1 through 99, and we're not. It's it's gonna it's a hard feat for us. I mean, it's possible. Obviously, Rochester does it. Most years they beat them, and it's and U-High did it to them, so it's possible, it's doable. It's just we're not at our program isn't at the stage that those programs are to do that.
Well, I used to be asked a lot, and I don't know this for sure now because I've been away from the youth football and their competition. But it used to be, I would bump into people in town and go, Joe, we play with them in youth football. I mean, we play right with them, we beat them, and then all of a sudden we get to varsity and we can't. And I said, well, you guys don't realize they have 2 8th grade teams.
Yeah.
They've taken all those kids and split them up and played, and then they put them together, and we're still playing with our original ones.
Yeah.
So it's just the numbers again.
Yeah, and their middle school, they have their junior high program is affiliated with their junior high. Mm-hmm. It's a school, and that's the only one that I know of in the area like that. So I mean, sure, that's going to help too. Is you get that continuity, with those players all those years, and just pick up where they left off every year.
Well, I think he said last year he had 60 freshmen out.
Yeah, it was 2 years ago. They had 80 something of that or another, but they had 44 juniors on their roster.
That's a lot.
Yeah, they had 44 juniors on the roster. Yeah, and and then when we're dressing about that number, give or take a few, that's hard. It's hard.
It is hard.
100%.
Well, we'll put that game in the rearview mirror, Coach, and as you said, 2 games left. We got Quincy Notre Dame next Friday at Quincy.
Yep.
They played Jacksonville. Jacksonville played them pretty good last night. Is that what you guys said?
Yeah, it was within a score with a couple minutes to go. They went up winning by 14. 7-7 at the quarter. So yeah, I mean, a lot of teams that they played have played them very tough. I mean, when they played Southeast, I think it was 14-0 at half until they ended up pulling away and winning 40-0. So, it's definitely a doable feat. They're 6-1 team, and they're good. They got a really good running back. Is leading rusher in school history right now for them. And, you know, their skill guys are really tall, you know, built really well. Up front, you know, they look the part. You know, we've kind of just watched YouTube streams of their games, so we're kind of really looking forward to getting the film exchange here this morning and, you know, really diving down deep into this thing.
Yeah, and that's your next two opponents, Quincy, Notre Dame, and finish up the season with Jacksonville at home. So, you know, that's two teams right there that, you know, obviously you want to get 1 out of 2 to get that fifth win to put you playoff eligible. But it's one game at a time, and, you know, Quincy, Notre Dame, I mean, yeah, they're a good team. They're a 2A team ranked.
Yeah, they're like top. They were 2. They maybe slipped to 3.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they're a really good team. You know, they make playoff runs all the time. You know, deep runs. You know, a lot of years too. So yeah, we're gonna have our hands full, but you know, I'm excited. I know we've kind of last week we spent some time kind of tweaking some stuff offensively. We kind of got some stuff in our back pocket that, you know, we'll use next week, and, you know, kind of get this thing back on track.
So you got to pull out all the tricks now. You know,
yeah,
it's 2 games left in the season, and can't leave anything in that playbook. So
we're
bring it all out.
Yeah, we're all in on these next 2 here.
My question for you: do they still do the multiplier in football for private schools?
Yes. Yeah. So I think it's 1.5. I believe is what it is, and then there's the success factor on top of that. So if you win, I want to say it's 3 playoff games over a 2-year span, you get bumped up to the next the class ahead of you.
Okay. Well, I want to back up a second because I wasn't here last week. But I have got to tell you, the last week at the game, that was one of the funnest games that I had watched. It was. You played keep away.
Yeah.
You ran in between the hashes. You didn't give them the ball as many chances as they could have had, and I thought that was a fun game last week.
Appreciate it. Yeah, kids played so well, and you know, executed very well, and you know, had some big drives and some big plays.
No turnovers.
Nope, no turnovers. Very minimal penalties. There's all, you know, 5-yard variety stuff. So yeah, kids played really good, and yeah, kept it away and gambled on some decisions that all paid off and worked out.
Absolutely.
Well, when you gamble and you win, it's fun.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
In anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, we took some gambles, you know, declining penalties and, you know, going for 2, stuff like that, and, you know, it all worked out.
Yeah, that was I walked away going, man, that was a fun game.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
It was.
Yeah,
that was fun.
And that's why we we feel good going in. Like, we're not done. Our season is far from over. You know, our kids have shown that they can rise to the occasion and win big games. And our seniors have been in big games. You know, this senior class, you know, I would argue, you know, if you look historically, has had the most success out of any class ever. You know, they've gone now into since they've been students at Lincoln Community High School, every season. Week 9, we have had an opportunity to go to the postseason. You know, in 21 when they were freshmen, triad week 9, again sophomore triad week 9. You know, we got in last year, and then again week 9, we're still going to be playing for something.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's, you know, you put that up.
That's a successful class for sure. Absolutely.
And football's a tough sport, you know. Wins aren't guaranteed, and, you know, like you said, you just got to go out there week in and week out, get your best game plan, and, you know, see what happens.
Yeah, that's all we could do. You know, we feel we're doing a really good job of, you know, playing with who we got, and, you know, don't have a ton of depth as much as you'd like, obviously, and, you know, our kids just keep responding, and we, you know, just keep finding a way.
Tell us about JV real quick. I missed the game last week.
Last week they played MacArthur. Didn't play very, you know, they lost. So they are 3-3 now.
That's good.
So yeah, we got, you know, they got 3 to go. Obviously, too. The week 9 is scheduled to be at Taylorville. It's like a fresh soft game. Jacksonville canceled the JV game for week 9 prior to the season even starting. So
are their numbers that bad?
No, they were just anticipating being in the postseason. Which I get. We did the same thing last year with Chatham week 9. You know, after we knew we were going to the postseason, you know, we didn't play that game just because you want those kids at practice all week. Because if they play Monday, they're essentially Tuesdays. They can't have a contact at practice. So
you need them for practice.
Yeah. So that's we kind of have the same. You know, we have a verbal agreement with Taylorville that, you know, after we get number 5, we're going to cancel that game, and you know, we want those kids at practice with us, and, you know, we need them at practice.
Well, a lot of them are playing in the game, you know, and they need to be there.
Yeah,
so,
Yeah, we want them to have that full playoff experience as well, and not miss 2 of the 4 days of preparation there. So yeah, we're kind of the same boat, but yeah, we're scheduled to play Taylorville at Taylorville that week 9 for the JV game.
Health-wise, we struggling with anything? Or?
No, we should be good. We had kept the kid out last night. He was dressed, was available, but decided to hold him out. So yeah, we'll touch base with trainer Matt here in a little bit. But as far as we'll be bumped and bruised, I'm sure, a little bit. But for the most part, yeah, we should be firing on all cylinders.
Well, Coach, let's get these next 2 games and get that playoff spot and keep it rolling.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, Coach.
Thanks.
We'll take a commercial break. We come back. We'll have more here on the Cheap Seats, WLC and 96.3 FM.
Culver's is a family restaurant. To me, that means being the place that puts a smile on everyone's face. We're famous for our cooked-to-order butter burgers and frozen custard made daily inside our restaurants. But we've always believed more menu options mean more ways to brighten your day. We source the finest chicken to bring you our tenders and chicken sandwiches. And our cheese curds. They're a Wisconsin tradition we're proud to share with you. So take the next meal shift off and let us take care of you. Welcome to Delicious.
Culver's, home of the Butterburger, 2530 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln. Full Gospel Evangelistic Center makes an impact locally and beyond through a wide range of events, ministries, and outreaches. Pastors Steve and Debbie Owens invite you to worship Sunday mornings at 10:30 and attend Wednesday night Bible studies at 6:30. Connect with FGEC online, follow them on Facebook, download their app, and visit their new website at myfgec.org with live YouTube video streams as well as recordings of services and special events. Full Gospel Evangelistic Center, 304 North McLean Street in Lincoln.
Brian Clark State Farm offers a range of insurance products to fit your unique needs and give you a peace of mind. Our dedicated team helps you find the perfect policy to safeguard your biggest investments. Brian Clark State Farm can steer you in the right direction on auto insurance, and we've got your home covered from natural disasters to unexpected accidents. Contact me, State Farm Agent Brian Clark, at 217-732-6211 or visit sfinsurelincoln.com. Go Railers!
Whether you're buying or selling your home, the brokers of Me Realty will work with you to get the deal done. As one of Central Illinois' top producing offices for decades, Me Realty has the experience to guide you through the process. You want results? Call the brokers of Me Realty at 217-735-5424, stop by the office at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, or check out local listings online at merealty.com.
solid.
Yeah. Who was in Police? Do you remember?
Huey Lewis.
Huey Lewis. Yep. You're right. Correct.
I'll tell you what, there's some funny people out
Tell
there.
me I'm wrong.
Welcome back to the
Jake,
Cheap
all you've
Seats.
got to do is look in the mirror.
We're going to call Coach Lyons
You are
right
wrong.
now.
Wrong.
And you are wrong.
We've got a caller calling in.
Well, we called him. And on the line now, Coach Lyons. Good morning, Coach.
Hey, how are you guys?
We're doing all right. A gloomy Saturday for the Spartans and the Railers today, as both teams took a loss last night. Coach, you're traveling to Maroa Forsyth. You knew it was going to be a tough game, and tell us a little about about the game.
Yeah, I mean, we played a really great first half, offensively in particular. I mean, if you wanted to watch offensive football, last night was the night to do it. I mean, there was nearly 1,000 yards of offense in the game between the two teams.
It's almost tied at half, wasn't it, Coach? Like it was tight, 28-27 or something.
Yeah, it was 28-27 at half. We won the toss. We took the ball. We score on the first play of the game.
All right.
Jimmy Lawler for like a 70-some yard touchdown run.
Nice.
Is that your sophomore?
And then, what'd you say?
Is he a sophomore?
Yeah, he's a sophomore.
Yeah, you gotta like that. Go ahead.
Yep, he's our sophomore fullback, and then they got the ball. They went right down, scored on us. We got it back. I mean, it was just back and forth like that for most of the first half. We've really, I feel like we've really made some improvements over the last 3 weeks. There's some things in our game that we're doing a lot better. We really put an emphasis on blocking on the perimeter this week, and we did a much better job of that this week. It was majorly improved, and it showed up because the explosive plays came back offensively. You know, we had several explosive plays, and by that I mean 20-plus yards in the game against the number one team in the state. You know, so we really should have been up 35. We really should have been up 35-28 at half. We had another drive where we're going in, and we put the ball on the ground. That's going to be a real place. We started working on it again this week, but ball security. It's not like pitches are going on the ground or anything like that. We just gotta. Some of it is we got to get a little stronger in the weight room. Another thing is I think we're just going to continue to build on those skills. You know, we're a young team, so we make mistakes like that. And against really good football teams, you can't do that. That's really kind of the story of the second half is we came out, we kicked off, they scored. They are extremely talented on offense. I mean, just to give you an idea, their lineup, they're 5 skill kids on offense. So they have a 6'6" tight end, a 6'4" tight end. And those guys are both like 220, 240 pounds. And then
They've got Gronk and Hernandez on there.
Yeah, they got their running back is 6'1", 210. And 6'1", 210 of muscle. They have their quarterback went 17 for 20 last night.
Wow. So he's on fire.
Just throwing, he was
We've
throwing.
got all hell breaking loose
Yeah,
here.
we got. I don't know.
Just to let you know.
I don't know if we just won a championship or there's a fire somewhere. But
Yeah,
What are
right.
their loud
You guys
bangs?
are.
That was that
There's
car
some
driving
crazy
by.
stuff. I hear stuff banging around.
yeah, I
Joe's
thought it was
like,
gunfire. Taking cover.
Yeah.
I'm standing still.
Jim's got to go home and
You
change
guys
his
been
pants.
drinking this morning?
No.
Oh, all right.
Nobody can say this show's not entertaining.
Yeah.
Well, wow. Something's going on here. It's not good.
Well, hey, I mean, they're probably coming to get Joe. What do you do, Joe?
They missed me. They went right on by.
Well, they don't need.
I'm so skinny over here.
Skinny.
There's 2 of us, buddy.
So, Coach, you guys standing 4-3 right now?
We're 4-3. Yeah, we're
Okay.
4-3, and we got Pleasant Plains and Auburn left, and you know, the thing about this league this year is they're really, you know, some years you got like, you know, there's a team where you're like, oh man, they're just, you know, they're pretty bad, and there isn't a team in our league that's bad this year. I mean, you know, people have beat each other. You know, people like to look at scores and say, you know, they beat X by this much, we beat X by this much. We're going to win that game. And you know, there's been several times where somebody's beat somebody who beat somebody else, and it didn't work out that way. You know, so
I mean, all about that.
Plains is really good offensively. I mean, their quarterback's good. They throw a nice deep ball. They've, you know, they've scored points. I mean, we're just we got to show up every week and play, and you know, hopefully we can. We're really trying to focus on the process of just what it takes to get better. We told the kids a lot this week, like, hey, you know, at the end of the day, you have very little control over the outcome. The only good thing you have control over is trying to positively influence the outcome in any way you can, and you do that with your attitude, you do that with your effort, and by knowing what your job is. And so
do your job.
We're just continuing to preach the message of try to fix the things that you're not good at. Try to play it one play at a time, because that's the only play you can control.
Now, so how were the kids' attitudes last night after the game? You got to pick them back up.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're really good. I mean, I think they realize that they've played 3 really good teams in a row. We really felt like we let, particularly the New Berlin game, slip away a little bit. But this week, you know, I think we played we played a little closer to our ceiling. And at the end of the day, you know, regardless of outcome, if you feel like you're playing to the top of your potential, you got to feel pretty good about it. But and you know, I wouldn't say that we did that. We turned the ball over twice, and we made some assignment mistakes on offense. I mean, on defense, and so, you know.
So what are they setting up? What are they setting up and running?
We're at the point where we're like, we got to put a whole game together.
Yep.
And this team reminds me so much of the team we had 2 years ago, where we were kind of up and down throughout the whole year, and then we really put it all together week 10 against Benton. And I hope we get to the point where we're doing that.
That was a big W down there, going down to Ranger territory.
Yeah.
They played the West Frankfort Redbirds last night. Both teams sitting at 3-3.
Oh, okay. I didn't. Yeah, who won that game?
I don't know. I didn't see the end of it, but I know it's 3-3, and I pulled in, was watching just a little bit of it. You know,
yeah.
Then I lost track.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's always possible that we go down there to the Deep South if we can find a way to get in. So, which is fun for the kids. You know what I mean? It's fun to go somewhere you've never been and play against somebody you never played, and I think that's one of the great things about playoff football.
Did you know that Shaner made the trip down there from Dixon last night and went down and played Johnson City?
Did he really? He's got a heck of a team this year.
Oh yeah, they won, but I think Johnson City's ranked second or something in 2A. But you know, that's a 5.5-hour drive. They're going down and staying all night and everything.
Yeah, they got a big game coming. Is that this week they play Byron?
Byron this week.
Byron, yep, Friday night.
Yeah, that's gonna be a heck of a game. I know. I know that I talked to the coach from Byron earlier in the year, right before we played Williamsville. We become pretty good acquaintances just because we run some of the same stuff, and we just he told me that he thought that Dixon game was going to be a really tough football game.
Well, I tell you, I think they've won 37 in a row in 2 state championships. So
yeah, I mean, Byron's really good.
Dixon's got their hands full at home.
They're really good. Yeah, but I mean, it looks like Dixon's really good this year too.
Yeah, they are. They're good. It'll be a fun game.
Still running the wing T stuff up there, Joe?
Oh, he's lightened up. He's going back, and now he runs some zone read and letting the quarterback keep it and run, and he's throwing the ball around a little more. So, yeah.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah. See how he's maturing.
Well, his son's the quarterback.
Back to basketball and grass, huh?
That's right. Now they've been fun to watch. I know that Yeah, I mean, personally wise, his son's having a great year at quarterbacks.
Is his son a senior this year?
Yeah, Cullen's a senior. But
Okay.
he's been racking it up.
Yeah, I haven't seen him for a long time. He's kind of traversed the state now.
Yeah,
you know.
He started in the middle of the state and he's went to south and north.
Now north.
Maybe west, right? East,
Well,
northwest.
north.
Yeah, he was an Olympia guy at one point, right?
Yeah, he
Wasn't
started
he
out
there?
over there. Oh yeah.
I thought so.
Before he came to Lincoln, he was an Olympia guy.
I thought so.
That's some more noise for you.
Yeah. False alarm.
We got our roots everywhere, you know.
That's right.
The coaching
you
tree.
know, when we cover as much miles as we do, you got to imagine. We're going to spread out.
Right.
You're what's his name over at? I can never say his name correctly. Muhani. What's his name? How do you say his name?
Are you talking about Niall?
Yeah, Niall.
Bloomington?
He got sneaking in playoffs, right? Has he got 3 or 4 wins under his belt, doesn't he? Got a shot?
Oh no, they're 6-1.
Are they 6-1? I was going to say.
Yeah, their only loss is the Community.
Well, good for him.
Yeah, they're
taking off.
They're rolling. I mean, he knew they were going to be pretty good. I think. I don't know that he was, necessarily expecting this, but they got a great group of seniors, and Niall's a really good football coach.
Yeah, he is good, and he's.
When I came over to Olympia, we had a math opening, and I tried like heck to get him to come over.
I remember.
And it's our, we couldn't part pay him when he was Bloomington, but I'm glad that things have really worked out for him.
I know he always wanted to be a head coach, getting his shot. Coach. We got another Lincoln on.
Now we got a train.
Yeah, it's.
Speaking of trains, we got Coach Aaron Fricky
a midnight
stepping
train
in
to
next.
Georgia right there. You gonna catch it, Joe?
No, I'm not going to Georgia. I'll go somewhere till midnight, but I'll be asleep.
Yeah, that's little Gladys Knight reference there.
I know about you. You're a good dancer.
Well, I don't know about that. That's a matter of perspective.
Well, Coach, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
2
Thanks
games
for
left,
having me on,
Coach.
And let's go get one next week, and hopefully that'll put us at 5, and then maybe we'll get you guys over for a playoff game.
There you go.
Where are you guys at the next 2 weeks?
So we're home against Pleasant Plains this week.
Tough.
And then we are at Auburn week 9.
Okay.
W.
Dub playoff
Let's get that
time.
5th.
Well, let's just continue to get better every day, and hopefully that'll give us a good chance to get these next 2. So
All right,
anyways, go
Coach.
Spartans, guys.
Yep, go get them. Thanks for calling in, and we'll talk to you next Saturday.
Sounds good.
All right.
We'll see you.
Thanks.
Coach Lyons, your head coach for the Olympia Spartans. Got to get that one more win. In the same
there,
boat. I think
same
we
boat.
talked about this last year with the Railers and Olympia, trying to get that 5th win. They both are trying for it. 2 games left, and keep it rolling. And so good luck to them. We're going to take a commercial break. We come back. We're going to talk some more high school football as Coach Aaron Fricky's going to join us just right down the road in Warrensburg, Latham. So we'll get him on next and talk about some Cardinal football. So stay tuned. You're in the cheap seats, WLCN 96.3 FM.
This live video stream is made possible in part by WLCN's live stream technology sponsor, Me Realty, located at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, and online at merealty.com.
Are you sick and tired of the telephone calls, text messages, and ads in the mail for Medicare Open Enrollment? Medicare Open Enrollment begins October 15th and ends December 7th. Changes made during this time will go into effect January 1, 2025. Feel free to call me, local Medicare agent Dara Entwistle, and set an appointment to go over 2025 changes and plans. My office is in downtown Lincoln, or I can meet with you at your home if you like. Again, call me Dara Entwistle, your local Medicare agent and your friend in health insurance, 217-651-8046.
Full Gospel Evangelistic Center makes an impact locally and beyond through a wide range of events, ministries, and outreaches. Pastors Steve and Debbie Owens invite you to worship Sunday mornings at 10:30 and attend Wednesday night Bible studies at 6:30. Connect with FGEC online, follow them on Facebook, download their app, and visit their new website at myfgec.org with live YouTube video streams as well as recordings of services and special events. Full Gospel Evangelistic Center, 304 North McLean Street in Lincoln.
Hello, Lincoln and Logan County. This is Chris Grau from Grau Chevrolet Buick in Lincoln. When it comes time to choose someone to repair your car, truck, or SUV, don't you think you'd feel more comfortable working with the local people you know and trust? Our team in Service, Parts, and Detail have the tools, training, and knowledge that will get your repairs done quickly with less downtime and at the right price. Call the local pros at 217-735-4444 at Grau Chevrolet Buick on North Kickapoo Street in Lincoln.
Hi, Joe Ryan here with Country Financial. As pensions go by the wayside and your retirement approaches, have you thought about what your retirement income will look like? No, I'm not talking about how much money you have saved. I am talking about a retirement income, a guaranteed paycheck for life. That's right, a paycheck issued to you every month for the rest of your life. Sound interesting? Let's talk. 735-4385.
Whether you're buying or selling your home, the brokers of Me Realty will work with you to get the deal done. As one of Central Illinois' top producing offices for decades, Me Realty has the experience to guide you through the process. You want results? Call the brokers of Me Realty at 217-735-5424, stop by the office at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, or check out local listings online at merealty.com.
Basketball team, and you're listening to Cheap Seats on WLCN.
Oh, no. Not on WLC.
We're not going to bring P. Diddy into this program. No.
It's already been dropped.
Yeah. Welcome back to the Cheap Seats, WLCN 96.3 FM, broadcasting live from Copper and Oak. And joining us now is former rail splitter, Coach Aaron Fricke, now up in Warrensburg Latham. Coach, good morning.
How you guys doing?
We're doing good. Yourself?
I'm doing good.
Good. 7 weeks into the season. How are the Warrensburg Latham football squad doing?
I was just telling Coach, I had a rough one last night. It's the first one in a while, but a little wake-up call. First time I've lost a game. We actually picked up a win last night as well. We got a forfeit win this week. We're supposed to play Westmont, so we will be 6-2 officially going into this last game. So hoping to get that 7th one.
Okay,
that's big.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And,
big to get that 7th one and
it would be
stay
nice.
at home.
It would be nice.
And you're playing who?
So we got Meridian. That'll be it's a big conference rival.
Yep.
Big conference rival.
Yep.
Not as good this year as they've been in the past, but when you play games like that, I think you look at the NFL, like rivals, those are close games a lot of times. There's a little bit of nerves and, but it's a game I think we'll go out and win. So.
And is that home? What?
Yep. Home game, senior night. All the festivities
it's all
that
going
come along with it. Oh yeah.
You feel a little older, don't you, on senior night?
Just a little bit,
Yeah, I know. I know how old you are.
Because you just keep counting them, like how many have gone by now, and it's like I was just there, right? It feels like it.
It seems like it. Yeah.
How long have you been over at Warrensburg?
This will be year 7.
We're year 7. Wow, time flies.
I know. That's the same thing, right? It's like I feel like I just started out there, but no, it's flown by and things have gone really well. It's a smaller school environment, and it was, I felt like, similar to Lincoln, just with the basketball history and stuff. So we've loved it over there. It's an easy drive from Lincoln, and
you kind of settled in over there.
They're red and yellow. I get to wear all my Chief stuff, and they don't really even, bat an eye on it.
I knew that was going to come up. I always want to talk about the Chiefs.
I had to throw it in just once.
And I tell you, I'm not an anti-Chief guy. They're an exciting football team.
You've been a big fan for about, 5 years now?
I've had enough of this Taylor and Kelsey thing. We don't need to see her every time
we don't need to see her.
I disagree. I love it.
I didn't like her before, and I have to tolerate it now.
I'm a big Swiftie.
Oh, we know this. I don't dislike her. I just at her concerts they don't just keep showing Travis.
Well, sometimes they do.
They do
if he's there.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, let's let our listeners know the road to Warrensburg. Obviously you played at Lincoln for a few years, and then went over to Petersburg. Is that correct?
Well, so the family did. I was a full-time rail splitter.
Okay.
Came in as a Greenview Terrier. Also, Greenview shout out. All right.
Yeah.
But no, we came here. There was no football there. Played here for 4 years, and then the family moved back over there. That's where all my family was originally from. But I went down to McKendree and somehow ended up as a defensive end.
Now, for the fans out there that don't know, he went from quarterback to defensive end.
Yeah.
I was a freshman defensive end. Thank you very much. But Coach Oakes, I broke my leg sophomore year, and he decided that since I broke my leg running the ball, now I will never play defense again. Which, God bless him, I understand it, but
he tried to protect his quarterback.
Would have been nice. I get to college, and they're like, okay, you're going to go rush the passer, go to D and put your hand down. And I'm like, I did that one play, I think, in high school, but it was a good learning experience because then after that, I stayed on and coached there a year as a DB's coach, and then I went to Illinois College as a D-line coach. So being a quarterback, then going coaching defense for a while, playing defense in college, it kind of gave me that balance, I guess, that I needed. My dad was an offensive guy. I needed to see that side of the ball. So got out of there. I ended up at Clinton for a year as a D coordinator, and that was like foot in the door, high school level. Teaching jobs were hard to find back then. I mean, now you could.
Not now.
No, anybody, yeah. But back then it was like, man, I just got to get my foot in the door. And Piasol Southwestern had a health job opened up, and I told Kylie, I was like, can we just move for a little bit? Like, I need a full-time teaching job. So we moved down. I don't even know if anybody will know where Piasol's at, but you're talking down by Jerseyville.
Yeah.
I went down there to teach, and the head coach got fired after an 0-9 season, and they're like, I was 24, 25 years old, and they're like, do you want the job? And I was like,
yes.
Yeah, I love these kids, like, absolutely. And we turned around, won 3 wins the next year, broke tons of records, and then we kept getting to 4 wins and got really close. And then at that time, Kylie's like, I would like to go back home. Let's go back. And Warrensburg opened up, and it all just kind of fell into place. So, and her parents were very quick to help find us a house back here. But no, and now
Cartwrights, they're always on top of things.
So it's good. Now wife is happy. So everything is.
You know what they say?
Yes, happy wife. Happy
now is how do you say it? Piazza. You don't say it.
Piasol.
Yeah. Now, don't they have what do they have in the end zone?
I used to say Piazza. It's a Piasol bird. It looks like a man-eating dragon.
Yeah,
it's weird.
Yeah,
it blows fire out when they score. So that was cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
We have a cannon now, so I like that.
Cannons are cool.
Cannons are cool.
Yeah.
I went to Tampa Bay, a couple times and sit right below that cannon.
Yeah, we don't have a ship.
Yeah, we need the ship.
Yes.
We sit right below it. They scored 45 points, and they hit that thing off every point.
But no, I mean, it's been a weird journey, I guess, but I still ended up where I thought I would, which would be somewhere around here coaching small-time football. I mean, and so it's all worked out really well.
When you go back those high school days and you talk about it, some of our best plays was when you would keep the ball and run, because you were a big, strong athlete.
And I don't want to go Napoleon Dynamite Uncle Rico on you, getting into these old time. But I think about that a lot. It was just offenses that was the transition time of spread was just starting.
Sure, yeah, it was.
So we were I formation, and then coach let us go to shotgun, but it was still like I was throwing 8 times a game, and towards the end he was like, Kurt gets hurt, and he's like, all right, you're going to run the ball now, and it's like, I should have done this the whole entire time.
Some of our best plays,
and I'm fast, but
yeah. No,
I mean that was just a different time. Offenses were not the way they are now, and it doesn't seem like it was that long ago. But everybody's running that style now. The quarterbacks now are all dual threats, but you just didn't see that as much back then.
It just evolves, yet goes back the way it was.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Well, we were double wing last night. We saw double wing all night, and you even at our level at small schools, you would think you see it all the time, but you don't. That's the first time we've seen double wing in 2 years, and it's starting to make a resurgence though.
Yep.
Everybody's all summer. You're 7-on-7. You're pass defense. Teams don't prepare for the run like they used to. You're not used to guys firing out of 4-point stances and hitting you in the mouth, and so I think you're going to see a little bit of that.
Well, when you're, and you're obviously, recruiting the hallways, trying to get kids out, and those skilled kids that are playing basketball, they don't want to come out for an all-running game if they don't ever get a pass. So you got to kind of, hey, we're going to throw the ball around a little bit.
You have to know what's in your high school, right? I mean, if you have a bunch of big kids walking around, you can run an offense like that, and it doesn't matter what's behind them. They're a wall of human beings that is massive, and you can take that all the way to the playoffs, right? But if you want to get those other skill kids out, yeah, do you want to go block as a wing 95% of the game and then get one handoff?
They want the ball.
They want the ball, and so that does help when you run that offense. You're going to get those athletes out, but then you got to feed them.
Yeah,
you got to feed them, and you got to keep them from. There's a lot of people that want the ball. So, but it works out because it's like I said, it was a basketball school, and you're getting those kids out now.
Did they run real tight splits last night? They were real tight, or did they just run ordinary splits?
It was probably like half foot. I mean, it wasn't toe to toe, but it was.
It's tight.
Yeah.
I was just saying.
You're not shooting gaps on.
No, you're not getting through.
No.
And then everybody takes off, and you got a cluster.
Yep. And then there's quarterback counter after it's been dived for 4 or 5 plays. No, they didn't throw a single pass last night.
And linebackers are all caught up in the mess.
It was a mess.
Can't get there.
Yep.
Well, I don't know. And all of a sudden, somebody's 20 yards downfield.
I respect it, though. I mean, it takes a lot of time to run an offense like that, and that's why you don't see it as much because it is very hard to run. But if you've got it down and you have the line, it's hard to stop. So.
And I remember it being, when we were running it here, I remember it being like, we really didn't care what you ran on defense because this is what we run, and you need to do something about it.
And I think Lincoln always struggled with it because the only thing that stops it is if the other team has bigger, better athletes. And you're in the CS8 at that time where we weren't the biggest team. You can get away with it then, but then
we just talked about it with Chatham last night. We spent. The penetration was killing us. If you play 6 inches behind that football on your side of the line of scrimmage, you're getting beat.
Yep.
You can't run anything.
Yep.
And that's what was kind of going on last night was the penetration.
There's a lot of teams now in high school that are just going 5-2 cover 0 and just daring you to throw the ball. And it's because that's a new thing too. So you're like, all right, we're just going to throw over the top. Well, they're playing 10 yards over. Are you patient enough to throw 5-yard hitches the whole game? But teams are just loading the box up, and you're not going to get anything.
And that's what it is too, is the patience.
Yep.
Because eventually, you're just
the only thing
throw
you
that ball you shouldn't.
Get the ball out quick, right? And then can you trust a high school kid to do that? And that's tough.
Yeah, you're tough. That's tough. Yep. You're right. So so tell us about your team this year. What are you running on offense and stuff?
Oh, we're balanced this year. My O-line coach is in my ear. I would throw the ball 90 times a game.
I like him already.
Not a former quarterback at all, right? But they get on me about that. Like I start getting a little pass happy sometimes. But I've got some really good running backs and good receivers. I've got some of these guys started for 3 or 4 years. There were times we took some really bad. I had 2 seniors a couple of years ago, so a lot of these guys have started for a long time. And now we're just riding off of that experience, and now they're bigger, faster, stronger. So it's a very deep, experienced team. And we're not really limited to one thing. I mean, that's every game. We're going to run the ball, and if they shut it down, we can throw the ball, which is what I want to do.
I know this.
But,
and you get it from your dad.
Here's the secret. Passing stats are padded right now. All right, jet sweeps. We don't hand those babies off anymore. We're tossing them up in front. I'm getting 100 yards a game passing, just jet sweeps. My quarterback loves it. My offensive line coach wants everybody to know that those are also rush yards too. But we're counting them as passes.
But you're getting getting the stats.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Got to get it somewhere.
And it's a little safer.
Yes, absolutely. And then if it gets dropped, we're not losing 5 yards on the play.
Isn't it funny how it all changes?
Oh, yeah.
Like that?
I don't know why we didn't think about just tossing the ball in front in high school instead of handing it off, but it makes so much more sense. But no, and my defense flies around. I mean, it's a fast team. We're more finesse, and we learned that last night. But football's rock, paper, scissors. You have to know your style. You're not always going to match up with the other team. Doesn't mean you can't find a way to win, but I think we know what we are, and it's definitely a spread, fast, flying around style of team. So
your defense coordinator probably likes you to run a little more too, doesn't he?
At 7 years, he's been in my ear about that. I still go for it on 4th down if I'm anywhere past the 30-yard line.
And I know he's down there in a headset just going.
Oh, I know. I for a while, I stopped wearing the headset. I told him, I was like, I don't want to hear your frustrations when I go for it on 4th and 15. But
we're
going to get it. We're going to get it, man.
Yeah.
That's an offensive guy,
Yeah, I've had a few choice words that it would happen, and then like Shader, for instance, would just be, I don't want to hear a thing from you either. Just shut up. So I just go down there and stand. Like, are we really doing this?
There's definitely headset etiquette, right? And there's times where I know they want to give suggestions, but they know when I'm in a certain mode, you got to just let me go. And when you're calling plays, it's tough because there's kids asking you questions. Everybody's got an idea, right? And sometimes that's good. You need a little balance, but
and you're just wearing the one, so you got that ear free.
Yeah. Sometimes I wish it was the double,
but you can't. You got to have that ear free.
I know.
Yeah, but you know what? You're right, and that's why you try to leave a guy alone.
Yep.
Just let him think because that's what he's doing.
You people all the time. You watch TV and you're like, why didn't he call that play? When the whole crowd's looking, you feel like they're all looking at you, and you're trying to find something on a play sheet, and it's not as easy as you think it is. You got to be really well versed in what you have on that form because you're still nervous as a coach. I don't care what anybody says. Like, I got those player nerves still. Like, that adrenaline's in me. So when you have a million voices, it makes it interesting.
100%. Then you call that play, and they get lined up out there, and it's like, boy, the kid you were going to give the ball to actually came out 2 plays ago, and he's here, and you're like, why did I run that?
Yep. So I'm telling my defensive coordinator, I'm like, do you see, like, they go something different every single time. And at the high school level too, play clocks are not long. We're huddling a little bit, and so it's like I don't have a lot of time to check out of plays when he lined up here this play, now he's over the top here. But no, I mean, that's just football, right?
I've always thought it's interesting, just things that you don't think about. But like high school football, they're going to give you that short play clock to organize kids and get them all everywhere. And then like in the NFL, they give you like a half hour, and the quarterback's got something in their head, they can hear everything, and they're going to give you a half hour to get a play called.
Oh yeah.
And in high school football, you got kids scrambling everywhere, and we need it like this.
And if there's mistakes, like it's not like the NFL where you've got quarterbacks getting the play clock reset, like no, like they're going. Sometimes you feel like you have 10 seconds. So.
And sometimes the guy running the play clock doesn't know what he's doing or can't see the remote.
No, that happens a lot. I don't know, Joe, you ever run the clock?
No, they asked me to do that. They asked me to do the play clock one time, and they threw it at me, your father-in-law, and I had no readers on, and I'd never ran one before in my life, and I gave it to about midway through the first quarter, and just walked up behind an official and said, hey, man, I can't run this thing. And he goes, turn it off.
No, there's times I don't have volunteers for it, and they're like, will you? And I'm like, I always find someone else. I don't want that pressure on me.
Oh, no.
The clock guy gets berated even at the JV games. Start the clock. Everybody's yelling at him, and but yeah, it's.
Yeah, steer clear of that.
Yeah.
All you future people out there that are going to games, when they say, hey, you want to run the clock?
Run change.
No.
Don't mess with
change. You stand still and wait for him to do this. Don't take off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, tell us a little bit about the conference. Who's in it? Where you guys stand?
Well, that's an interesting question. So, Illinois, I mean, you see all this conference hopping going on, which they're actually trying to – there's a vote. Well, they did vote already, but they're talking about extending the playoffs another week, which would let more teams in. You've got all these 3 and 6s and 4 and 5s that want to hop around. Our conference has changed a lot. Well, since I've been there, it's been the same. But at one time, they had Unity, Monticello, Maroa, St. T.
Wow.
And that was an interesting conference. When I got there, St. T was still there, and the other ones had already been booted. We lost Sullivan. So we merged the Central Illinois Conference, which was the CIC, merged with the HOIC. a lot of letters in here, which was more Bloomington Peoria, but still 1A, 2A, 3A football. So we merged together, and then they did a big school conference and then a small school conference, and luckily we get into the small school. So we still see Tuscola, we still see Meridian, we still see Central A&M, but this year we had Fieldcrest, we had the Fisher Bunnies, we played Gibson City, and then we had last night was the game against Leroy. So there have been games that teams we've never seen before. And that conference was a really, really good conference. We saw Tri-Valley last year out of it. Yeah. But they're on the big school side.
Yeah, they're tough.
I think they've got Eureka over there, Clinton's over there, Shelbyville's over there. So it's an interesting conference. It's new for all of us. It feels like a bunch of non-conference games, but
because everybody's trying to get to 5.
Yes, and that's why I get that. You've got some of these schools. I mean, think about where we were at in the Central State 8 back then. Was some of the Taylorville was really good.
Yes,
it was tough to get 5 wins, and so schools started bouncing to other conferences. But it's shuffled so much now that scheduling has become a nightmare.
Oh, yeah.
We played Sullivan a couple years ago. They canceled their whole varsity season because they weren't going to be any good. They had 50 kids. They just canceled the whole season, played JV, whooped everyone's butt, and then came out the next year and played a varsity schedule. And so it's like you got all these schools doing different things to get their teams ready to try to get to the playoffs, but the conference hopping is getting ridiculous. I like the one we're in now, and I hope it stays, but it's already looking to shuffle probably again at some point. So
Riverton had to cancel their season this year.
Riverton, and that was because of numbers. But it's tough because like we've had years where we're down, and we play those games and we take it on the chin,
That's how you get better.
And you kind of feel like we're going to take our turn, and then when it's we're up, and then you got these schools canceling now, and it's really frustrating because you get the win, but you're getting nothing else out of it besides that.
No, but a week 8 cancellation is way better than a week 2.
Timing. So if this had been week 2, I do think we would have probably tried to pick up a game. But like I said, that was the easiest one on our schedule. It's week 8. We're banged up. So
perfect.
It seems like a gift, but you don't want to get in that. You turned it off for a week, and then you got to turn it back on now.
True.
So
that's true.
You got to have a big week of practice and somehow
be ready to go
competitive.
Again.
Yep.
Do you know a lot about this trying to get other teams in, like how they were going to do it?
What do you mean?
You're expanding the playoffs.
So there's a couple of things they talked about. They talked about making it an 8-week regular season. So you would start playoffs a week early. Week 9 would actually be week 1 of the playoffs. And then the other option would be just to start the season a week earlier. You still play a full 9 games. It'd be an extra round of the playoffs. The state finals would still be on Thanksgiving. So it wouldn't push the season back into basketball or anything like that. We would just start earlier. I mean, they've talked about districts, and things like that.
Districts has always been talked about. But what are they going to do with I guess really what I narrowed it down was what are you going to do? Are you going to let a 4 and 5 team in, and they're going to go play? We don't need them to go play a 9-0.
Well, that's the thing. You're still going to get that discrepancy of some 4 and 5s are legitimately probably 6 or 7 win teams in other conferences. Some 4 and 5s are that was their top. Like 4 was the best they could have done. And you see teams that go in at 5 and 4 that get throttled that probably didn't belong there. But it's going to stop the conference hopping. Will you get some schools in there that probably don't belong? Sure, but I mean, look at all the other sports where even in basketball, you don't win a regular season game, you still get to play in the regional,
right?
And you might get murdered 80-0.
It's the only sport you have to finish well to get into the state tournament.
That adds so much more pressure to every game, and that's why everyone's jumping conferences because they just want a chance to get to 5.
Yep, absolutely. It's a big deal getting those playoffs.
Yep, I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
And you'll be sitting pretty. You get that 7th win over there with that home game.
It'll feel good. I really want to host. I do. It's good for the school and it's good for the community. We actually play better on the road, but I want the fans. I want the kids to feel that environment because it is different. It's the first time I experienced it. There was goosebumps like I've never felt. I've been to big NFL games and seen huge stadiums, but there's nothing like just that Saturday feeling of that playoff
high
game.
school playoffs, man. It's awesome.
It's awesome.
Playoffs hey, so tell us a little bit about the family out there. Now, your mom and dad, they live over there on that Dutton Ranch, don't they? Over there.
Yeah. They got my grandparents' old farm in Petersburg, so
it's an awesome place.
Yeah, they've got a nice setup out there.
That's what I call it.
Well, I don't know that my dad qualifies for that, but
he's got a 4-wheeler.
He does.
Or not a 4-wheeler, but a whatever.
That might be as close as it gets, I think. But yeah, no, I got my middle brothers in Springfield, and He's
kind of becoming an SHG fan.
He's married to an SHG.
Yeah.
You know, that's okay.
He was a good football player,
we love
too.
Kelly, and John Allison's over there. So, you know, I got to love
good
that
boy.
now. Yes.
Yeah.
And then my youngest brother, Caleb, is in Indiana, and he just had his first kid. And then Kylie's family's all still around. Casey's still around Lincoln. Mom and Dad's still around here.
Yeah.
So her dad's at every single one of my football games. Still yelling like
helping.
I mean, it depends how you. Big Kev will always help. He will always help. He'll give you his opinion. But no, I love it. Like he's at everything, and he's like even at Southwestern, he was coming down to games. So.
He's a big fan of yours.
He is.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I like that.
I got lucky with the in-laws for sure.
Yeah, you did.
Yep.
Yeah, except for you got Kurt involved. But
we tolerate him. It's fine.
and he's got a new little one.
Yep.
Well, very interesting, man. It's, we need to have you on a little more often. Update us. Have to.
Anytime. I will come on and talk about anything. I'll blab forever.
Well, our number one caller says he's never heard you talk so much.
Who's your number one caller?
J-Mac.
Oh, that's because at every baseball game, I'm not the parents that yell. I'm sitting down on the side because I know what he goes through dealing with herding cats out there. Travel baseball. Love J-Mac, though.
Yeah.
My son absolutely loves playing for J-Mac. They had a good baseball team this year. So.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. And J-Mac can do it. And talk about somebody who likes to talk.
Yeah, I say he's a head coach. Just when you hear him talk, that guy.
Well, that's why we like having him on here because we can just turn off our mics.
I need him to come give a speech. A speech out at Warrensburg.
Well, I don't know.
There's a time limit on it.
I
Well,
was going to say there might be other limits.
Other vocabulary might be an issue.
Yeah, we'll bleep it out.
I remember being at Taylorville one time, and he'd turn around and coach those kids. And, at Taylorville, they set those stands up, and they're right here. And I would watch when they would call a timeout. They're, all the Taylorville fans would lean forward, and all of them were like this, listening to him. So at halftime, I said, "Hey, man, I just want you to realize all these Taylorville people are listening to you during the timeouts." He was like, "Oh, yeah, I'll keep track of that."
Yeah, you're a little louder than you. But that happens. Like we've got games where there's no small football fields. There's no track behind us, so the fans are right up on that fence, and you forget sometimes. Not that you're saying anything you shouldn't, but you got to. You have to keep in mind who's around you and how you're working.
Parents and grandparents, and
But speaking of hearing people yell, this last thing I have to do one more shout out. Omer Moore. Nobody yells like Omer Moore. Hearing that man yell from a football field. Anybody that was at Lincoln games in that time period heard that man scream from anywhere near that football
Omer
field.
could let it go, couldn't he?
That was a good one.
Funny man.
Hall of Fame for yelling coaches.
Omer Moore.
Yep.
Darn tootin'. I went down south and saw the train yard. Have you been to the train yard?
Mm-mm.
I'm not kidding you. If this is the out of bounds, there's a train at that wall right there.
Yeah.
And at night games, they go by, they said the average is 6 times. During a game, that train will go by and blow its horn right there.
Don't go chasing any footballs over your head that way, right?
All right.
Don't run out of bounds too far.
Yep.
You're on the tracks. Good stuff.
Yeah. Well, Coach.
we're going to check back in this playoff run.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Appreciate you coming in today.
Yeah.
And
thank you guys.
you're welcome here anytime. We talk to Coach Silky every Saturday. Coach Lyons over in Olympia. We like to get you on board as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds good.
All right, my man. Thanks for coming on.
Appreciate it, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
And that's going to do it for us today here on the Cheap Seats. Thanks for tuning in. We've got 2 weeks left of regular season football, guys. Boy, the season's flown by, and we're near the end. So let's keep it going, and we'll talk to you next week here on the Cheap Seats. Good day.
Live video streaming of this event is made possible in part by WLCN's live stream technology sponsor, Me Realty, located at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, and online at merealty.com. The preceding program is a presentation of WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com.